Hare Krishna. Am I audible, Mataji?
Yeah, very
Hare
much.
Krishna to everyone. Pranams. So I would like to thank all of you for joining, and I would like to thank Sachi Mataji and Ramakrishna Prabhu for giving all of us children and me especially this opportunity to present Srimad Bhagavad Gita. And now today we will be starting with the 11th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. So thank you all for joining regularly, and yes, we'll start. Hare Krishna. Is the screen visible? Slideshow. Okay. So today we'll be starting with the 11th chapter, which is entitled The Universal Form. So last Friday, Devyani had taught the 10th chapter, which talks about the opulences or vibhutis of the Lord. And we know that the opulences and vibhutis of the Lord are unlimited and He is the origin of everything. So, all this was covered by Devyani last Friday. So, now we will be progressing to the next chapter, that is the universal form. So, what do we understand from the title, the universal form? So, universal form is also known as Vishwarupa, so or the Virat Roop. So, Arjuna, in this chapter, we will see how Arjuna sees the Vishwarupa of the Lord, which has unlimited mouths, unlimited eyes, unlimited uh, unlimited mouth, unlimited eyes, wonderful visions, and lot of effulgence from that form. So this form is decorated by celestial ornaments, as we can see in the picture, and many divine upraised weapons. And if many hundreds and thousands of suns were to rise at once in the sky, then the light that they would emit is the effulgence of the universal form. And even as a small baby, Krishna had shown the universe to Mother Yashoda. And so this is not the same, but Krishna can manifest how different uh, things whenever he wants. So similar form, and Krishna shows the Vishwa, the universe, to Arjuna. And in fact, the personal form of Krishna is the basis of all other forms, such as the Virat Roop and even the impersonal forms. Like we had seen in the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita, the analogy which Sri Lakshmi had told, the analogy of the sun, that the sun planet is has the sun, the demigod has more than the planet also, and even has the effulgence. So the even the effulgence of the Lord is a part of the full. When we talk about the full swarupa of the Lord, the effulgence is a part of it. So when we talk about the personal feature of the Lord, it is the basis of the impersonal form and all such Virat Roop and Vishwaroop. So, the title of this chapter is, as I said, the universal form, and it is a temporary form in the material realm. So, it is not eternally situated in the spiritual sky like Krishna's other forms. And as the material nature is manifested and unmanifested, similarly, this universal form is manifested and unmanifested. And we need to know that the devotees of the Lord are not very eager to see this form. So then the question might arise in our minds that why is this described here, or why did Arjuna, being a devotee, aspire to see the universal form? So this we will be discussing further when we start the sections. And for those who want a link with the previous chapter, in the previous chapter, Krishna said that he pervades and supports the entire universe with a single fragment of his power. So now in this chapter, Arjuna expresses his desire to see that all pervasive, all existing form of Lord Krishna. And when Arjuna inquires, so Krishna shows his universal form or the Vishwarupa. So now let us see the acronym for this chapter. The acronym for this chapter is RUPA. So RUPA, R stands for request, U stands for universal form, P stands for prayers by Arjuna, and A stands for armed form. So R is from verses 1 to 4, then universal form is from verses 5 to 15, prayers of Arjuna is from verses 15 to 45, and armed form is from verses 46 to 55. So now let us see each section in detail. We'll start with the first section, that is request. So the first section is the request made by Arjuna to see the universal form. That is from verses 1 to 4. So Arjuna requests to see the universal form. And one may ask why he makes such a request since he can see Krishna. And we know that the form of Krishna is absolute and it is very Sachidananda, it is very beautiful. And we know that even the demigods aspire to see this form of the Lord. And Arjuna is completely satisfied because he has confirmed this in the previous chapter. He has said that he is convinced that Krishna is supreme absolute truth and Krishna is the source of everything. And he is completely satisfied with the reciprocation that he receives with Krishna by the personal sweet pastimes and reciprocation. So still he asked that Krishna, will you please show me your Vishwarup? So why did he ask? So there are mainly two reasons why Arjuna asked uh, Krishna to reveal his Vishwarup. So the first reason is to prove Krishna's position. So he wanted to convince everyone in the future and even at that time that Krishna is divine and his position, and he wanted to show everyone Krishna's position as the source of everything. So the first reason Arjuna makes the request is to prove Krishna's position. The second reason Arjuna asks is to set a standard for anyone in the future. So in the future, many people will pose themselves as God or incarnations of God, and whoever claims so should show the universal form. So, to set a standard for anyone, this is why Arjuna is inquired. And even we can see that even in the time of Dwapar Yuga, during Krishna's presence on the earth, there were many imposters like Paundraka. So, what to speak of the present age of Kali Yuga, where many imposters and bogus people will come. So, unfortunately, our modern world is plagued with so many so called incarnations, and they claim to be the saviors of society because they have got some popularity or mastered a few magic tricks. So, no one can become God by meditation or any other technique. God is always God. Krishna is God. And all of us are jivas, minute part and parcel of Krishna, and we will remain so for the eternity. No jiva can become God. So this is very important. Arjuna has asked to set a standard for anyone in future. Anyone who claims to be God should show the universal form or perform extraordinary pastimes like Krishna. They cannot do it. So God is only Krishna and we are part and parcels or the jivas. So there is a quote by Srila Prabhupada here. If any one of you wants to read, can please read.
I can read.
Yes, Mataji, please.
Police officer firing a revolver. Suppose a boy's father is a police officer. So is the father comes as a police officer firing a revolver. Even the child will forget loving father. You see. So naturally the child loves father when he is at home, just like father. Similarly, we love Krishna as he is. Shama Sundara. The Vishwarupa was shown to Arjuna to warn the rascal humanity because Krishna said, I am God, imitating Krishna. So many rascals declaring that I am God. Therefore, Arjun said, please show me your Vishwarupa, so that these rascals may also ask him to show his Vishwarupa. So if you are God, please show me your Vishwarupa. Bhagavad Gita 6.46 to 47, Los Angeles, February 21, 1969. Hare Krishna.
Yes. Thank you, Mataji. So this quote is self-explanatory, and we know why Arjuna asked Krishna to show the universal form. So now we will proceed ahead to the practical application in this section. So I just said that Arjuna requested Krishna to show the universal form. So in 11.3, the third verse, Arjuna made a humble request to the Lord to show the Virat Roop. He did not demand the Lord. So we can understand the Lord only when He reveals Himself to us and not by our own mental speculation. So we can learn a lesson of humility from Arjuna that only by humbly requesting the Lord will reveal Himself to us. Then the second lesson that we can learn is only by surrender and bhakti we can get the mercy of the Lord. So the Lord is independent. He says in the Bhagavad Gita only, Naham Prakasha Sarvasva, I am not entitled to reveal myself to anyone. So he has his own independent choice. He is Swarat. He is only conquered by humility. So only by surrender and bhakti we can get the mercy of the Lord. And nowadays, uh, when in the schools and all, they are encouraging all of us to develop self confidence, and there's a lot of competition. So in when that flow of competition, we start finding faults in others and try to prove our supremacy. And then if we start finding faults in others, slowly we even start to criticize God, and we start questioning Krishna, that why did Krishna do this to me? How could this happen to me? And then we lose faith in Krishna, and then Krishna will not reveal to us if we are having this challenging attitude. So therefore, we need to have a humble and submissive attitude. And even in Bhagavad Gita, that it's said in the fourth chapter, Tadvidhi Pranipatena, that we have to approach a spiritual master and inquire submissively. Then only the knowledge will be revealed unto us. So, the Lord is Swarat, and we cannot control him, and he will reveal himself to us by his own accord and by his own will. So, by that, we have finished the first section. So, the second section is the universal form, that is verses 5 to 14. So Krishna describes initially, in the initial verses, he describes the universal form, and then he provides Divya Chakshu to Arjuna, because obviously by the material vision that we have, we cannot see the universal form of the Lord. So Krishna provided Divya Chakshu to Arjuna for him to be able to see the form. Then Sanjaya describes that Arjuna could see all the living beings, all material objects, and the entirety of past, present, and future. So sitting in Dhritarashtra, with Dhritarashtra, Sanjaya is able to see what the Lord is showing Arjuna, and he describes all some of what he can see to Dhritarashtra. So there we can see the description of the Virat Roop. Then Arjuna is bewildered, and there's a change of rasa from friendship to wonder. So when Arjuna sees the Virat Roop of the Lord, there's a change in his feeling of friendship to wonder and amazement. And so the universal form of the Lord is transcendental, but it is temporary. So it is not like the other forms of the Lord, because the other forms of the Lord are always there, but this universal form, it is subjected to time and material nature, and it is sometimes manifested and it is unmanifested. So it is temporary, but it is transcendental, and it is not eternally situated in the spiritual sky. And the universal form cannot be seen by ordinary men. That is why Krishna had given the Divya Chakshu to Arjuna, Divya Chakshu or celestial vision. And we need to understand that both Krishna and Arjuna were on the chariot. And Arjuna was able to see the universal form while he was on the chariot. And no one else on the battlefield could see it. Only Sanjaya was able to see it, and he is describing to Dhritarashtra to whatever extent he can. So here Krishna showed his Aishwarya or opulence. His universal form is a display of his opulence or Aishwarya. And the playmates of Krishna in Vrindavan and all the Brajvasis are so immersed in pure love for Krishna that even though Krishna shows his Aishwarya, like he did to Mother Yashoda, they did not consider him God. So that is the greatness of the Brajvasis and their bhakti. So I've just said this to bring out a comparison in the Aishwarya aspect and Madhurya aspect of the Lord. So even the Brajvasis, even though they were exposed to the Aishwarya aspect, they still considered Lord as their friend or son or lover, and they had that relation with the Lord. So this is the greatness of the Rajvasis and their devotion. So this was the section of universal form from verses 5 to 14. The next section is prayers by Arjuna, which is from verse 15 to 45. So Arjuna says that it is difficult to see this glowing form. So there's a lot of effulgence that is emanating from the universal form. And Arjuna says that it is very difficult for me to behold this. I am convinced of your supremacy now. And then Arjuna also sees the Kala Rupa of the Lord, that is the form of time. So while Krishna is showing the universal form, Krishna is showing different, like he's showing different unlimited faces, unlimited eyes, and many weapons. Uh, and also in that, while showing the Vishwaroop, Krishna also shows the Kala Roop or the form of time. So Arjuna sees that and he starts describing that form. And he also becomes fearful. And then Arjuna is able to see the future outcome of the war. So even before the war has started, even before it has ended, Arjuna is able to see the outcome of the war while he's seeing the Vishwaroop. So he can see the warriors entering uh, the Vishwaroop's mouth. He's seeing them entering into the Lord. So Arjuna asks the Lord that who are you in this ferocious form? What is this Ugra Rupa? What is your mission? So Arjuna becomes very afraid after seeing the Kal Rupa of the Lord and after seeing that Bhishma, Drona, and everyone is entering into the Lord. So then Krishna says, in this same section, we find this that Krishna says that Kalosmi Loka Kshayakrit Pravriddho. I am time. And Krishna indicates that even if you don't fight, they are all bound to die one day by time factor and by my desire. That is the law of nature. So even if you don't fight, they are going to die. So better fight. I am time. This is what Krishna says. And then Krishna says, in the next shloka, Krishna says, Tasmat tvamuttishta yasho labhasva jitva shatrun bhungshva rajyam samriddham mayyaivaite nihata purvameva nimitta matram bhava sachin. He says, Nimitta matram bhava sachin. Just become an instrument in my plan. So hearing of all this, Arjuna he becomes bewildered, he becomes perplexed, and he glorifies the Lord. He offers obeisances, he apologizes, and also he makes a request. So now let us see what are the requests of Arjuna. So first he glorifies the Lord when the Lord says just become an instrument, and he tells that he is time. First Arjuna glorifies the Lord and he says that Krishna is worshipable by all, and then he offers his obeisances repeatedly. He pays respects to the Lord, and then he apologizes. And he says that please forgive me for all my offenses, whatever I did in madness or love, considering you my friend, not knowing your glories. I rashly addressed you as a friend. I dishonored you many times, jesting, laying. We sat and ate together alone and in front of others. So, after seeing this Kalarup, Vishwarup of the Lord, Arjuna is becoming, he's forgetting that he's understanding that Krishna is God and he's coming to know of that Aishwarya aspect of the Lord. So, he asks for forgiveness from the Lord, and he's repenting if he made fun of him. Like how when we are friends with someone, we make fun of them, we joke with them. Sometimes we hit them while making a joke, or sometimes uh, we behave with them as a friend in any way. So Arjuna is repenting all of that, and he's asking forgiveness to the Lord. And then he says, please tolerate me just as a father tolerates his son, or a friend tolerates his friend, or a husband tolerates the wife. Then, after saying all this, he makes another request. He says, I am both gladdened and frightened to see your universal form, but now I wish to see your four armed form. So, after seeing this Vishwarup, also, Arjuna makes a request to see the four armed form of the Lord. And this proves that Krishna is the Supreme Lord and the source of all forms, including the four-handed form of Lord Vishnu. So now Arjuna is asking Krishna to show the four-handed form. So unless Krishna is the source, how can he show the four-handed form? So this proves that Krishna is the source of universal form and the four-handed form of Vishnu also. And Krishna's human-like form is more pleasing than the majestic universal form, which is distasteful to the mind and eye. So the human-like form is more appealing to the devotees. So now let us read another quote by Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna. I think Madhavan had raised his hand. Yes.
Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada quote: as moths dash to destruction in a blazing fire, leaders, they are entering into the mouth of the Kala, just like insects. Although within their lifetime they were very, very big leaders, but they are entering into the mouth of the Kala just like insects and flies. There is no plan how to stop. Morning Walk, April 4th, 1974, Bombay.
Thank you. So, like we have seen in the previous section, where Arjuna is offering prayers, and he is seeing the big leaders, Dronacharya, Bhishmadev, all entering into the Lord's mouth, just like how insects are attracted to the fire and they burn. So, this is one analogy that Prabhupada has given. Now, let us see the practical application from this section. So, the first lesson is a lesson on time management. So, Krishna says here, Kalosmi. So, he says that I am time. So, if we look at it that way, that time is Krishna's energy. So, we should not waste our time. Otherwise, we are wasting Krishna's energy. So, if we are feeling lazy or we are not feeling to do something, we should motivate ourselves to do something productive, because this time is precious and it has been given to us by the Lord, and it is one of the Lord's energies, and we should not be wasting it. And we know that whatever time is gone will not come back. And the second lesson that we can learn is that we are just instruments in the Lord's hands. So we need to understand that we are instruments and we should not get attached to the work or the result of the work that we are performing. And we can see that this was the mood of Srila Prabhupada also. That when Srila Prabhupada had gone to America in Boston Harbor in Jaladuta, he had written a bhajan called Boro Kripa Koile Krishna. And in that bhajan, one of the stanzas, it is আনিয়াছো যদি প্রভু আমাকে নচাতে নচাও নচাও প্রভু নচাও সে মাতে কাষ্ঠেরা পুথালি যতা নচাও সে মাতে নচাও নচাও প্রভু নচাও সে মতে. So Srila Prabhupada is saying Kashtera Puthali Jata. I am just like a puppet in your hands. So if you have brought me here to dance, then make me dance. Make me dance, O Lord, make me dance. So he is considering himself like a puppet in the Lord's hands, and he is completely in the mood that he is an instrument in the Lord's hands. So we can see this in this is even Srila Prabhupada's mood. So following in Srila Prabhupada's footsteps, we also need to cultivate this mood and understand that we are not the doers. We are just the instrument in the Lord's hands. And he considered everything as the empowerment of his guru and Krishna's mercy. So let us also imbibe that mood and understand that we are not the doers. Human effort is of little consequence, because we can understand this by an analogy that even when the wind subsides, the leaves still fall. So, irrespective of whether wind is present or not, the leaves are still bound to fall. So, if not us, then someone else will be doing it. So, someone else will be doing that particular activity or that seva that we are going to accomplish. So, like, even if Arjuna doesn't fight, the miscreants will be killed nonetheless. They are bound to be killed. So, Arjuna should serve as an instrument in Krishna's will, because that is the purpose of everyone's life, to serve Krishna. So, similarly, we also must perform our duty, because our purpose of life is to serve Krishna. And we need to understand that we are just the instrument in his hands. So, our planning will be successful only if it is sanctioned by the Lord. And our intention should be aligned with Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra. So, whenever we are going to do something, we need to evaluate our action and our mood. Is our action right? Are we doing it in accordance to Guru? Have we asked Sadhu, Guru, and taken guidance from them? And is it according to the Shastra? And then, second thing we need to evaluate is that are we in the right mood? We need to know that we are not the instruments, we are not the doers. So, but also another aspect to this is that knowing that we are instruments, is that we should not become relaxed in our service. Our mood should be I am responsible for the service, so let me put my best. it's not like we know that we are just instruments. That doesn't mean that I don't do my service to the fullest. Krishna has given me a certain capacity, so I have to complete that service to my complete capacity and I have to serve in that way. So, like for example, studying for an exam. I know I should not be saying that I'm just instrument in the Lord's hands. So whatever result I get, it's bound to happen. So let me not study. No, I will study for the exam, and at the same time, I will know that okay, if the result something goes wrong, if the correction doesn't happen properly, evaluator doesn't give me marks, then it's the Lord's will. I'm the instrument in His hands. But at the same time, we should not be so we should be mindful that we are instruments and at the same time be detached from the result. So this is the second lesson, and the third lesson we can learn from here is that Krishna gives credit to his devotees. So in this section we have seen how Krishna showed the Kala Rupa to Arjuna, and he Arjuna sees that Krishna is devouring all the soldiers on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, right? So, but still Krishna wants Arjuna to perform his duty and kill the soldiers. Why? Because Krishna wants to give credit to his devotees. Actually, Krishna does not need anyone's help in fulfilling his mission. Still, out of his causeless mercy, he allows his devotees to assist him and gives them the opportunity to serve. For example, here, as we can see, Arjuna is killing the Kauravas, although Krishna is saying, I've already killed them. And another example we can see in Ram Leela is how Lord Ram took the assistance of Vanar Sena to build the bridge. Actually, the actually the Lord is capable of doing that by himself, but still he is giving an opportunity to the Vanar Sena as a seva, and also so that they get the credit. And another example is in Srimad Bhagavatam when Bhishma Dev was struck by all the arrows and he was lying on the bed, and Yudhishthir Maharaj and all the Pandavas came to him. Bhishma Dev, Krishna was also present at that time with Bhishma Dev and all the Pandavas. So, but still he made Bhishma Dev instruct Yudhishthir Maharaj, and he gave the teachings to Yudhishthir Maharaj through Bhishma Dev. And that is why now we have Bhishma Stuti and everyone knows the glory of Bhishma Dev, and they're not just judging him that he was fighting on the side of Kauravas. His glory came out because of that. So again, Krishna gave the credit to his devotee. So Krishna always wants to give credit to his devotees, and that is why he is Bhaktavatsal. And that is also, we can also understand in this way that one of his opulence is renunciation. Krishna is, we know that Krishna has six opulences, right? Aishwaryasya samagrasya, Viryasya yashasya shriya, Jnana vairagya yoshchaiva, Shannam bhaga itingana. So Krishna's six opulences are beauty, fame, knowledge, strength, wealth, and last one is renunciation. So this we can understand that he is not attached to the fame or the credit. He gives the credit to his devotees, and that is why he is Bhagavan. So now we will move on to the next section, that is A, that is armed form. So this is from verses 46 to 55. So now Arjuna has seen the Vishwarup of the Lord, and after seeing the Vishwarup, we saw how he made a request to see the four-handed form of the Lord. Correct? So now uh, he asks the Lord to show the four-handed form, and then Krishna reveals his four-handed form. But we need to understand that the pure devotees are not interested to see the universal form because it does not enable reciprocative loving feelings. Therefore, Arjuna desired to see the four-handed form of Krishna as Vishnu. So the devotees are not impressed by the universal form because it does not enable reciprocative loving feelings. There is no reciprocation. So the devotees aspire for four-handed form of Vishnu or two-handed form of Krishna, where there is personal interaction. But the pure devotees of the Lord, they want to see the Lord as Sham Sundar and serve him in that form, two-handed form. So when Arjuna made the request to see the four-handed form, Krishna revealed his four-handed form, and after that he came back to his original two-armed form. And after that, after he came back to his original form, Krishna starts telling the rarity of seeing his human-like form. So he says how rare it is for someone to see and take darshan of the Lord's human form, Shamasundara form, the two-handed form. So he says that this human form of mine, which we are seeing, is still very difficult to see. Even the demigods are longing to see this form. And he says that this form cannot be understood simply by Vedic study, penances, charity, etc. This can be understood only by bhakti. So here Krishna is making it very clear that to see and understand his form, we only need bhakti. And he says in the 54th shloka, Hare Krishna, anyone wants to recite the shloka?
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Shall I go ahead?
Yes, Mataji.
Bhaktya tvananya shakya aham eva vidurjuna ज्ञातुं द्रष्टुं च तत्त्वेन प्रवेष्टुं च परन्तप. Translation, shall I read?
Yes, Mataji.
Translation, my dear Arjuna, only by undivided devotional service can I be understood as I am standing before you, and can thus be seen directly. Only in this way can you enter into the mysteries of my understanding. Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji. So here again, Krishna is saying in the 54th shloka that I can be understood only by undivided devotional service. And there's another shloka in the 18th chapter of Bhagavad Gita where Krishna says, Bhaktya mam abhijanati yavanyastasmi tatvatah tato mam tatvato nyatva vishate tadanantaram. So only by bhakti one can understand the Lord and enter into his abode. Now we will move on to the last shloka of the chapter. So this shloka is known as the essence of the Bhagavad Gita. Srila Prabhupada writes in the purport, and it is the success formula. So if it will be nice if we can learn the shloka, meditate on it, and apply it in our personal life. This is also one of the practical applications of this chapter. So anyone wants to recite this shloka? Hare Krishna. So I will recite the shloka.
I'll recite. It's also my
Yes,
favorite.
Mataji. Yes,
Yeah.
Mataji.
Mat karma krin mat paramo. Okay. I think Vidya Mataji has raised it. Let her check. Yes, Vidya Mataji, go ahead.
No, Mataji, it's okay. Mataji, you recite, please, please. No problem.
Mat
Please.
karma krin mat paramo. Mad bhakta sangha varjitaha. Nirvaira sarva bhuteshu. Yasa mam tu pandava. Is it correct?
Yes, Mameti Pandam.
Yasa mameti pandava.
Thank you, Mataji.
My
So this is
He who engages in my pure devotional service, free from the contaminations of fruitive activities and mental speculation, he who works for me, who makes me the supreme goal of his life, and who is friendly to every living being, he certainly comes to me.
yes, Mataji. So this is, as I said, it is in the purport. Srila Prabhupada writes that this is the essence of the Bhagavad Gita, and in this there are 5 steps mentioned by that we need to develop. 5 things mentioned that we need to develop. So in the previous shloka, we saw how it is said that only by devotional service we can understand the Lord. So these are the characteristics. These 5 points are the characteristics of such devotional service. So the first point is mat karma krit, or work for Krishna. So mat karma krit means work for Krishna, and we need to work without attachment to the results, with the mentality that Krishna is the proprietor. So we need to perform Krishna karma, which means that no work should be done except in something that is in relation with Krishna. For example, if there's a businessman, then businessman will offer the money to Krishna for constructing a temple or for helping the devotees. Or another example of working for Krishna is accepting remnants of Krishna's offering as prasadam. And something that even the poorest of men can perform is cleaning the temple, cultivating garden for flowers. So even Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 9.26, Patram pushpam phalam toyam yome bhaktya prayachati tadaham bhakti uparitam ashnami prayatatmana. That he doesn't want anything, only he wants either a fruit or flower or leaf or water. With love and devotion, he wants us to offer it. So there is no big prerequisite. All he's asking is work for him with love and devotion. So the second point is make Krishna the supreme goal of our life. That is Mat Paramo. So Mat Paramo means make Krishna the supreme goal of the life. And in the previous chapter we have seen uh, मत्ता परतरम नान्यत् किंचिदस्ति धनंजय मयि सर्वमिदं प्रोतं सूत्रे मणिगणा इव अहं सर्वस्य प्रभवो मत्ता सर्वं प्रवर्तते इति मत्वा भजन्ते मां बुधा भाव समन्विता. So from these two verses we can understand the supremacy of Krishna. So he is the supreme, he is the original, and he should be the supreme goal of our lives. And we need to consider Krishna's association in the Supreme Abode as the highest perfection of life. In the purport, Prabhupada writes that one should not wish to elevate to higher planets like Brahmaloka, and one should not even be satisfied with Brahmajyoti, but only Krishna Loka. Because when we have full knowledge of that planet, we know that Krishna Loka is the absolute. So, this is the second point, that is, make Krishna the supreme goal of our life. The third point is engage in pure devotional service. Mad bhakta, become my devotee. So, engage in my pure devotional service. It could be through any of the 9 processes. So, either perform all the 9 or at least one. Even if you perform one, that will make the life perfect. So, we know Prahlad Maharaj says Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam Padasevanam Archanam Vandanam Dasyam Sakyam Atma Nivedanam. So any one of these 9 processes, that is Shravanam, hearing about the Lord, Kirtanam, glorifying the Lord or performing, singing glories of the Lord. Smaranam is remembering the Lord. Archanam is offering deity worship. Then Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Padasevanam is worshipping the lotus feet of the Lord. Archanam, Vandanam is offering prayers. Dasyam is taking the position of the servant of the Lord and serving him in as a servant. Then Dasyam, Sakyam. Sakyam is friendship, serving the Lord as a friend. And Atmanivedanam is completely surrendering the life unto the Lord. So these are the 9 processes, and engaging in either one or all of them will make our life perfect. Then the fourth point mentioned is Sangavarjitaha, free from the contaminations of fruitive activities and mental speculation. So Sangavarjita means we need to disassociate ourselves from persons against Krishna and against Bhakti Yoga. So people like atheists or fruitive workers or mental speculators. So we need to distance ourselves from them and also from the paths they follow, like fruitive, like karma or jnana. And this is the definition of pure devotional service. That pure devotional service should be free from the contaminations of fruitive activities and mental speculation. That it is said in Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu, Anyabhilashita Shunyam Jnana Karmadi Anavritam. So it should be free from all material desires. The bhakti we perform should not be dependent on any material desire that we have. That I want a good house, I want good marks, I want good results. So it should be free from such desires, and it should be free from fruitive activities and mental speculations, that is karma and jnana. So we need to think of Krishna and act for Krishna favorably. So, what does this act for Krishna favorably mean? Does anyone want to elaborate on this? How can someone think of Krishna unfavorably? Yes, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you for your presentation. Act for Krishna means I don't know. I'm just maybe it's wrong also. Means we have to do the things what is favorable for him, not favorable to us or what we like. It is not the act for Krishna. Act for Krishna is whatever we do, it should be means attractive, favorable, and liked by Krishna. Like Krishna.
Yes. Thank you,
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna, I will tell us.
Yes,
Like
Mataji.
Kansa also regularly remembering Krishna, but not in his favor, always for doing something bad for him. So that is unfavorably he is remembering Krishna, but like a devotee who is always remembering Krishna for his association, his service.
Yes. Thank you, Mataji, for the very
Thank you.
apt example. So, example of Kamsa, who was always thinking of Krishna, but he was thinking of Krishna unfavorably because he was always thinking of how can I kill Krishna. And another example is of Shishupal. He also was only thinking of blaspheming Krishna and criticizing Krishna. So that is not favorable thinking of Krishna. So think favorably for Krishna means think how we can serve him and think in some way that is going to please him. And we need to so that is one aspect of free from contaminations of fruitive activities and mental speculation. And another point is that we need to accept what is favorable and reject what is unfavorable for bhakti. From this we can learn that we need to reject here jnana and karma, right? So what we need to accept what is favorable. Anukulasya sankalpa pratikulasya varjanam. So accept what is helpful for our devotional service and reject what is unfavorable. And a pure devotee does not want the aspiration of a pure devotee is that he does not even want to go to Goloka. He only wants to serve the Lord. So that should also be our aspiration to serve the Lord favorably. And our bhakti should be savai pumsam paro dharmo yato bhakti radokshaje ahaituki apratihata yayatma suprasidati. Should be unmotivated and uninterrupted. Unmotivated is not because of some personal agenda that we want, and uninterrupted is not interrupted by uh, material obstacles. For example, Prahlad Maharaj, come what may, he was serving the Lord. So that is Ahetuki and Apratihata. So that we have to develop that kind of bhakti. And the final point is being friendly to every living being. That is Nirvaira Sarva Bhuteshu. So a devotee is always friendly to all the living beings. So loving God means loving those who love God, loving those who are trying to love God, and loving those who God loves. So God loves everyone. There is no one who God doesn't love. He loves everyone as his own child. So we need to love everyone and be friendly to every living being. And that is the characteristic of a devotee. So a Krishna conscious person knows the cause of suffering in the material world. He knows that this cause of suffering is the forgetfulness of the eternal relationship with Krishna. And so, what he tries to do is relieve the neighbor from material problems. So, he's friendly to every living being and he will try to uplift all the living beings by giving them Krishna consciousness because they know that the highest cause of suffering, the cause of suffering is forgetting the relationship with Krishna. So, being a friend, being an eternal well wisher of all the living entities, the devotee will try to spread Krishna consciousness to all the living beings because he knows that Krishna consciousness is the only solution to all problems. So, therefore, he wants to introduce Krishna consciousness in human society, and for that he takes all the risk to spread the movement. For example, Jesus Christ, Prahlad Maharaj, and Haridas Thakur. So when they know what is the eternal welfare of the humanity, they try to spread Krishna consciousness to the whole humanity, and they try to teach humanity how to love God and how to serve God. And even if there is whatever risk, they are willing to take that risk. We know the example of Prahlad Maharaj, whatever obstacle came, Hiranyakashipu tried tormenting Prahlad Maharaj. Recently, I went to see the Mahavatar Narasimha movie, and in that, the way that they have shown the torture that Hiranyakashipu had given to Prahlad, you are actually able to visualize it because you have been hearing it, you have been seeing it, you have been able to. But the way when we see something, we are able to comprehend it in a better way. So when I saw that, I actually started admiring Prahlad Maharaj. That he was actually so he was undeterred. He was always uh, he had hope that the Lord will protect him, and he had complete faith, complete surrender unto the Lord. So whatever risk came, he was not ready to give up, and he was spreading the love of God and bhakti to even his classmates who were all demons. And another example is Haridas Thakur. He was beaten in 22 marketplaces, but still he did not give up chanting of the holy name. And even Jesus Christ, he was crucified, but still he wanted to teach humanity how to love God. So that these are the characteristics of devotee. Once more, I will repeat. First one is work for Krishna, mat karmakrit. Second is make Krishna the supreme goal of our life, mat paramo. Then third is engage in pure devotional service, mat bhakta. Fourth is sangha varjita, free from contaminations of fruitive activities and mental speculation. And fifth one is being friendly to all the living beings. So this is the characteristics of a devotee, and we need to cultivate this. It is a very practical shloka for us, and it is actually the essence of Bhagavad Gita. So we can meditate on this and imbibe these qualities. So with that, I've completed the chapter. It was a very small chapter, and I didn't think I would finish it so fast. So I will just give the summary of the chapter. So Arjuna requests to see the universal form of the Lord, and then there is the description of the Virat Roop. Krishna describes the Virat Roop, and then Krishna bestows the vision to Arjuna to see the universal form. Then Krishna explains his form and tells Arjuna to become an instrument. He tells that Kalosmi Lokakshayakrit Pravedo, I am time, and he asks Arjuna to become an instrument in his hands. And then Arjuna becomes overcome by fear once he sees the Vishwaroop and Kalaroop, and he prays to the Lord to remove that form and show the four-armed form. Then Krishna shows his four-armed form, and then he shows his two-handed form. And then Krishna informs Arjuna that his two-handed form is supreme and can be understood only by bhakti. So the conclusion of the chapter is that first we can understand that Krishna is the source of all forms. In Bhagavatam 1.3.28, we see Krishna's, it is said, Ete chamsha kalapumsa Krishnastu Bhagwan Swayam, Indradi Vyakulam Lokam Ridayanti Yuge Yuge. That Krishna is the source of all the incarnations, and he's source of all the portions of the plenary portions also. So Krishna is the source of all the forms. And so yeah, Krishna is the source of all forms, and Krishna's universal form or the Vishwaroop, which is a temporary manifestation in this world, and even the Kalaroop, which is the form of time, which devours everything, and also the four-handed form of Vishnu. These all forms have been exhibited by Krishna, the Vishwaroop, Kalaroop, and four-handed form of the Lord. It has been exhibited by Krishna. Thus, Krishna is the origin of all these manifestations. There are hundreds and thousands of Vishnus, but for a devotee, no form of Krishna is important but the original form, that is two-handed Shyamasundara form. So this is the first concluding lesson that we can learn, and the second is the two-handed spiritual form of Krishna is supreme. And how can we see the form of the Lord? Only through the eyes of love and devotion, this form can be seen. It is said in Brahma Samhita, Premanjanacharita Bhakti Vilochanena Santas Sadaiva Hridayeshu Vilokayanti Yam Shama Sundaramachintya Gunaswarupam Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. So, Krishna is, who is also known as Govinda, is inconceivable and he has innumerable attributes. But who can see him? Only the pure devotees can see the Lord in their hearts with the eyes of devotion and love. With eyes anointed with devotion and love, can they only see the Lord. So, the concluding lesson is that we need to establish a personal connection with the Lord through devotional service or bhakti yoga. And now we will see the connection with the next chapter. So in 11.55, Krishna establishes the supremacy of Bhakti Yoga unto his personal form. So in 12.1, Arjuna inquires about personalists and impersonalists. So what is this personal form, impersonal form, who are personalists, impersonalists? So that is how the 12th chapter begins. So with that, we have completed the 11th chapter. And Jai Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna. Please forgive me if I have said something wrong, if I have finished the chapter too fast, if not covered enough. Please forgive me. And thank you, Sachi Mataji, Ramakrishna Prabhu once again. Thank you everyone for listening. Hare Krishna. Anyone has any suggestion or feedback, please give. I will try to improve myself next time.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, TulsiGopi, for the wonderful session. Very nicely taken with very many verses quoted very wonderfully. You have intertwined the verses from various other shastras also, sometimes taken from Brahma Samhita, sometimes from Nectar of Devotion. So very nicely you have correlated and give appropriate references also. So very nice. That was a very, very wonderful and enlightening session. May Krishna bless you, dear. And just for those who have joined the first time, Tulsi Gopi is a dear daughter of His Grace Gopakumar Das Prabhu and Her Grace Gopriya Devidasi Mata. And she just completed her grade 12 and she'll be joining the university, I think the first week of September. So we are sincere blessings to you, my dear, for your both your academic and your spiritual pursuits. So if with your kind permission, if I may ask you a couple of questions.
Yes, Mataji.
So, so that you are, because you're doing so well, I just want that you polish more. I mean, see, those who cannot do, I will not tell them. But those who have that caliber, I would like to give them one step more so that you progress ahead. So in 11.55, Krishna says here, Nirvairaha sarva bhuteshu. Yeah, just prior to that, he showed his Kala Rupa. And now here he says, you should not have any enmity towards any living being. And then at the same time, he says, you have to fight. How do we understand this?
Mataji. So this we need to understand that Krishna is saying that you should not have any enmity towards any living being, but at the same time he is encouraging Arjuna to fight and kill the Kauravas. That is the question, no, Mataji?
Yeah.
So here he's saying to kill the Kauravas because the Kauravas are performing adharmic activities and they are going against the scriptures, and killing them is going to bring benefit to all the other living entities. It is going to be beneficial for them, and even after they are killed, they are going to be liberated. And the Lord has said no, that He has already killed them, and so they are going to get a higher position. So it is for their good that the Lord is saying, and ultimately whatever the Lord says is the absolute truth, like dharmam tu sakshat bhagavad pranimtam. So if the Lord is telling Arjuna to kill them, then that is for that their good. So ultimately the Lord wants the welfare of all the living entities. But here, because Arjuna is a Kshatriya and it is his duty to fight, and provide protection to the weaker living entities who don't have that much strength. It is his duty to eliminate the Kauravas and all the adharmic Kshatriyas. This is my understanding. Hare
Very,
Krishna.
very nice. Yes, that's an apt answer. And just a little more clarity. That means what? Devotees do not have any personal agenda. Even if Arjuna is fighting against the Kauravas, it is because first on the order of Krishna, and secondly because they were adharmic. That means they do not have any personal agenda or motive of fighting. That is the first point we have to understand. So sometimes when we see some apparent difference of opinions or contradictions, or you find devotees fighting, it is not because they have any personal ill feeling towards anybody. It is only on certain aspects that they do not agree with one another. And that is what is precisely Arjuna is doing here. Yeah, that is one point we have to understand. That is why even Radhanath Maharaj also says, hate the sin and not the sinner. Correct? Hate the sin and not the sinner. So this is the understanding. Okay, beta? Wonderful. Another question. Because you have used this term, and even in your slide I saw this part. What is the difference between Virat Rupa and Vishwarupa?
Okay. I also had this confusion, but I think I have heard this in one lecture that Vishwarupa is the form of the Lord in relation with the things in the material world, like water, like for example, the mountains, the trees, the clouds. So that is the Vishwarupa. Like they are compared to some particular form of the Lord. For example, the trees are compared to the hair on the body of the Lord. So,
That
and
is
that is
the
the Vishwarupa.
Virat Rupa.
Okay, that is the Virat Rupa. So
Okay.
then the Vishwarupa is?
Vishwarupa is the one which he actually showed to Arjuna. Okay. So the difference between Virat Rupa, why it keeps coming my hand up and up? Okay. Vishwarupa is a universal form and Virat Rupa is a cosmic form. You understood? Vishwarupa is the one which we see in chapter 11, Bhagavad Gita. Okay? And it is also described in Bhagavatam, first canto, third chapter, verse number 30. Why it goes up, up, up? And when it comes to Virata Rupa, it is Kapila's teachings, second canto, wherein this is the meditative form. It is more wherein the Lord's body, from that they say that this is the head, this is the legs, like that they are able to see, that is the one. You got my point better? The difference between these two is Vishwarupa is a universal form. It is the time. It is Kala Rupa. It is encompassing the time, the beings and the events. That is a Vishwarupa. And the Virata Rupa is a material cosmic body of the universe. That is how it is represented. Okay. And that is why when Arjuna saw, he became fearful. But Virat Rupa is a meditative form for the beginners. People meditate on the Virata form. Vishwarupa form, when he saw what was the experience, he became fearful because he saw time, he saw death. Got my point better?
Yes, Mataji.
Okay. And the purpose of showing the Vishwarupa is to show the transcendental position over material creation, over all creations. Okay. Whereas the Virata form is to help neophytes meditate on the Lord through nature. That is the purpose of the Virata form. And who saw Vishwarupa was seen by Arjuna. It was also seen by Duryodhana. And it was seen by Brahma. And when it comes to Virata form, some sages and yogis, they meditate on the Virata form. Okay, beta? Did you get my point, beta?
Yes, Mataji.
Yeah. This Virata form is like a mental contemplation, or it's a source of sadhana. Okay, Virat is a material form which the people meditate upon. And Prabhupada says very clearly, Vishwarupa is a vision. It is not an eternal form. Whereas a Virata is a meditative form of the Lord. Meditative but material form. That also does not exist eternally. Both of them do not exist. This is a vision. Which one? Vishwarupa is a vision, and it encompasses time, beings, and events, whereas the Virata form is a cosmic representation. Got it better? For your clarity,
Yes, thank you, Mataji.
that you understand, and that should not be used here and there. Vishwarupa is certainly different, Virata Rupa is certainly, because the purpose, the context, the mood, all are different. Okay, beta, got your point? Yeah, this is for your clarity so that you get more understanding on the subject matter. Okay, beta, very nice. But you did very wonderful. I just wanted to give this clarification to you so that you can add on to your understanding. Okay, beta, very nice, very nicely done. May Krishna bless you. Anybody has any questions to ask?
Hare Krishna Mataji, pronounce. Hare Krishna Tulsi, very nice class. It seems that Gopi Priya Mataji is taking the class. Very nice. As you told that the universal form is a temporary form and all other forms are already existing. But as by my conception, my thought, I was thinking like according to the demand and the time, the form, the Krishna is taking that rupa or that avatara. Like for Narsimha, I think with this Krishna has taken that avatara according to the demand of Hiranyakashipu's death. So is it there like all the rupa, all the avatars were already present every time and they are coming and going according to the demand?
Mataji, I'll tell my understanding and then Sachimati, you can please correct. But what I think is that all these forms of the Lord are already existing eternally. It is not that just like for that it has come. Because even in the Goloka chart, if we see in near above Vaikuntha, and there is all the abodes of the Lord where all these forms of the Lord are eternally existing. So that spiritual world is already existing. It is not created in between. No? So these forms of the Lord, I think, are already existing there, and according to the demand, they are appearing in the material world. So it's manifesting like that. But all the forms of the Lord are eternal, and it is existing from before. I don't know, Mata, is this understanding correct?
Haribol, yes, Tulsi Gopi. All these are the four-handed form of the Lord. And like, for example, Vamana, Narshinga, Matsya, Kurma, Vara, all are these Vaikuntha planets. And they're all there eternally. And in fact, this is told very clearly. If you want the reference, it is in the first canto, chapter number 15, verse number, I will tell you the verse number. It comes in section. Yeah, just see verses 1.15.34, 35, 36. You go to that section and see. You will get, it is more clearly given, and Prabhupada makes it very, very clear in this regard. That all these are eternally present, and it's just not that they manifest suddenly like how a magician comes, not like that. They come and they vanish. No. And all these incarnations, they happen in a proper cyclic manner.
Like Mataji? Like,
No, like for instance, Krishna comes, the Supreme Lord as Krishna, the Supreme Lord Krishna himself comes in the 28th cycle, right?
okay. In that way, okay.
Like that, they all have regular cyclic way of coming. These avatars, all these take place in a proper duration, proper time cycle.
So Mataji, all the leelas, all the thing will coming like the same way as coming every
It could
yuga.
change. It could change sometimes. That is why we say in different kalpas, the leelas could be slightly different. In different kalpa means different days of Brahma. And maybe, and what we are reading now or what we are trying to understand pertains to this particular universe. In some other universe, it could be in different way. Actually, the cycle is first it should be Satya Yuga, then it should be Dwapar Yuga, Treta Yuga, then Kali Yuga. That is the actual cycle, protocol. But then in this particular universe and in this cycle, the Treta Yuga comes first, then comes Dwapar Yuga. So it is all on the Lord's will. He wants to come. So we can
Mataji, all these avatars, where they reside?
Vaikuntha planet.
Vaikuntha.
Yes. Vaikuntha planets.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Thank you, Tulsi.
Thanks, Mataji, Nupur Mataji. Nice that you asked some question in each class. That is very wonderful because that is very encouraging to the children also that there is somebody who is listening. And whether you know, you don't know, you try to ask something, you pep up their morale. That is very nice. Very good. Thank you, Mata. So if you don't have any further questions, anything. So Tulsi, you have any quiz or anything better? You're prepared?
Yes, Mataji, I have a quiz.
You've made us a Google form better?
Yes, Mataji.
Okay, you can post the Google link. Yeah. Thank you. So you all have the Google link. Request all of you to please answer. And and you may answer and you may leave the session. But prior to that, I request that all of you please be present for the next few sessions which are to follow. And please take the nectar. And without any kind of, it should be very, very pouring your love and affection blessings to these wonderful children. Let it come out wholeheartedly. Give the blessings to these children. And Tulsi, may I request you to please do the Vaishnav Pranam Mantra beta before we close for the day?
Yes, Mataji. वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय. श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय. हरे कृष्ण.
Very good. Thank you. Anybody? Dev, Hasini, Devyani, anybody? A few words of encouragement to our TulsiGopi? Yeah,
Hare
Hasini.
Krishna, Pranam Mataji.
Yeah, Devyani, go ahead. Yeah.
It was a really wonderful session, Tulsi. Hare Krishna. Everything was made very clear, very easy to understand. And my favorite part is the bhajan also. It's a wonderful way to explain point, put across point. It will stick to your head. And the content was not presented in a very complicated or in a very sophisticated way, very easy, very simple means. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Devyani. Yes, that bhajan also was very nice, very nicely correlated. And like Nupur Mataji said, so TulsiGopi is a replica of her mother. Wonderful. Very nice. Thank you. Hasini, you were also trying to say something. Hasini, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Tulsi. Like, your presentation was really nice. In the PowerPoint, there were not many points, but you explained each point perfectly and gave examples and gave practical application for everything. So it was really nice. Thank you for explaining this chapter so simply. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Hasini. Thanks for your encouraging words. Thank you, Vita. Thank you, TulsiGopi. Once again, thanks to you. And it was very wonderfully conducted. May Krishna bless you, dear. And we hope to hear more from you in the coming sessions. Okay, Vita? Take care, my dear. So, with this, I would like to end the session with your kind permission. See you all tomorrow, same time. The Zoom link remains the same. Okay? Take care. Bye.